cultures believe the Earth to be an intelligent, sentient being. Like us humans, she has a soul, she has her physical body, and as we have veins and meridians on our body, the Earth does too. These veins are energy lines that weave and intersect all over the planet. These energy lines are referred to as ley lines. The Irish call them fairy paths, the Italians synchronic lines. The Greeks named them the sacred roads of Hermes. The Egyptians called them the pathways of Min. The Maya built roads on ley lines which connected their pyramids together. The Australian Aborigines would use the song lines to re-energise the life force of the land to predict weather changes and hunting advantages. All ancient cultures knew of the importance of these lines, but now this knowledge seems all but forgotten. Now is the time to remember and begin our journey home.
Machidi, winning more ngay ring with the in order to tangle the Nopole, Nopoli in the Canada in Ortanyatanga. The Nopol Nakara Nikangu, Munianga Nagiri, Ikanapu, Nanda, my in order to Mondika, Nalakan Machidi, the Ucha and Midland, Wallang. Which knowledge in that whichever way.
You are about to take a journey with South Australian man George Cavassalis, a journey to the end of the Earth and the far reaches of the galaxy.
People ask me what are the goals, what is the main reason why you're here? I would have to say that it is to help humanity remember who and what we are collectively, to help people to remember why it is they chose to come to this planet and why this planet and why now at such a critical point in time.
This journey is not for the faint-hearted. Belief systems will be questioned and control structures confronted. George is a spiritual speaker who has no tertiary education, no ties to government or spiritual societies. All his wisdom is gained through a life of extraordinary experiences. He has no hidden agenda and does not seek fame, fortune, or followers. His sole motive is to share a message of self-empowerment.
I guess from a very young age, I've had this innate feeling deep down inside of me of I was here to do something, I would say unique, something different.
George believes that from a very young age, he has been in contact with extraterrestrials and has travelled to the far reaches of our galaxy.
Well, a lot of this began from that experience that I can remember as far back when I was about 5.5 years old, and it was what people would call an abduction, just being taken out of your bed by a group of extraterrestrial beings. Call them ETs, or these ones are more both extraterrestrial but also interdimensional. I don't have a lot of memory from that experience, but I do remember they were poking me and prodding me and trying all sorts of different things on me. And I said, they took me, Mum, and they did horrible things to me. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, the space people come and took me and did horrible things to me. And the first thing she said to me is, don't worry, you just had a dream, it was just a bad dream. And that was the typical reaction I got.
Since the invention of the internet, more and more UFO sightings are being broadcast for the world to share.
UFO in China's skies.
After another apparent UFO sighting.
A strange spiraling white light was spotted in the early morning sky.
This appeared in the Norwegian sky.
But in the last few years, sightings have increased worldwide, and in some cases, the evidence is too big to ignore.
Wow.
Let's get real here. Let's get real. Let's start being real, because I'm a realist. I'm not into fantasy. I'm not into belief systems. I'm a realist. I travelled, I experienced, and I know what's real. And I damn well know what's not real. I know about the illusion, I know about the lies being imposed on the human race. I know about them. And I'm here to expose them. And I will. This is the battle for human awareness. And
It's what you're exposing.
what we're exposing is that battle for humanity's awareness. That's what it's all about. The revealing of the truth, the revealing of the truth from the good spirit. Apocalypse here. Apocalypse, not here we come, here we are.
A storm is brewing. A man with a message is speaking his truth, and the whole world is starting to listen.
He's basically gone from doing Skype interviews at his house that he bought when he got married to go to the global stage.
My audience is really varied. I get from young children right through to very, very elderly people. And they seem to come from all walks of life.
Hi, I'm Joseph. I'm 11 years old and I am a huge fan of George.
To me, he's one of the foremost people on the planet. It's incredibly important. You know, if you're alive now, that's what you need to hear. It seems that I'm probably one of the most watched and listened to people that people don't want to admit to actually watching and listening to.
The website statistics for George's material are in the hundreds of thousands. Websites ranging from local Australian interviews to the world's leading conspiracy and UFO websites.
It's not about being some sort of guru, and it's not for monetary reasons. For me, it's about informing humanity. Knowledge is empowerment.
So why is everyone starting to listen? Why could one man's message be so important? George and Cynthia both believe in reincarnation and insist that this is not the first time they have been on planet Earth to deliver this information.
I always knew I was going to take a journey that I would be helping humanity in a very deep and meaningful way. I always knew that.
What we know about our lives is that we've come back here once again, like we did 12,500 years ago. We came then to this planet with a large group of people and helped to inform people of the processes at hand and the coming changes that were about to take place. People have memory of me coming back here 12,500 years ago at the halfway point in the cycle and saying, hey guys, there's some pretty big stuff that's about to happen. Our Lemurian, Atlantean epoch and era, that's done. And they didn't believe me back then, and they sure as hell don't want to believe me again now. We're just two of many who are here to do that. And it's kind of like, the way I see it, it's a bit of a ripple effect. You drop a stone in the water and the ripples go out. And everywhere we go and everything we do, that's what we're doing. It's the ripple effect. It's almost like a good energy that's been injected into this reality, and we're just changing things from the inside out. A lot of friends used to think I was just crazy. They used to say, oh, one day I'm going to be travelling the world and sharing information. And I've been preparing my kids for over 5 years, telling them one day Dad's got to go away and travel the world and do his thing. I came with a big entourage of people. Like, there's lots of us here. And at the moment, I'm the foolish one getting up and speaking early, right?
He's had some crazy experiences that sound so far outside of the norm of what normal, average, everyday people on the street would expect to hear. There are things that have taken a lot of getting used to. He has a lot of visitors from other realms and that makes life very interesting. I suppose the main catalyst would have to have been in 2003. My galactic family turned up and picked me up and took me for a ride and ended up in a really large ship away from, our solar system. And they facilitated an experience where I could come out of my body and with my consciousness, my spirit, just
my spirit consciousness, my greater essence. Take a journey through the universe and take a journey even to the very edges of the universe and got a chance to see beyond the universe.
As I was travelling up, I just saw a whole cosmic paradigm. And then it just started shrinking and shrinking and shrinking into the galaxy, and then you got billions and billions of galaxies all just shrinking, 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 shrinking into a tiny vortex of light. This whole cosmic paradigm we were in ended up being a tiny little vortex of light. And one little spin of that, which happens in an instant on that level of consciousness, is eons upon eons upon eons of time. Absolutely incredible. And so I travelled up through the dimensions of our universe and I got to the boundaries of our universe. Yes, our universe is a finite existence. It's a finite expression. It's in the name. Universe. One verse. One expression of life. And I had this incredible exchange with a being that is this universe, the creator of this universe, the being that people call God. And then we both projected our attention and awareness outside this universe. And that's what I saw outside this universe. This is what I call the omniverse. And each one of those dots is a universe. But if you want to reconnect with your true sovereignty, with your true essence, then see how this feels, what I'm about to share with you. How about that? Every single one of those dots out there is you. Each one of those dots. I'm saying that you have your own universe and you are equal with God, the creator of this universe, on the same level of existence. And I got my universe, you got your universe, and we all express ourselves in a different way, right? So, therefore, the construct of each one of our universe is different. And then this universe decided to express itself in the construct that we call light. And we went, wow, now that's cool. That is really cool. Can I have some of that? I want me some of that. I want to learn how to be like that. That is really cool. And this is what we do. We go inside one another and we learn how to be like one another. That's the amazing thing. We are all universes.
I've managed to hold on to the basic elements of that experience, which is enough to crack I would say the hard set concepts that are keeping us in this frame of mind. That first of all, that we're all alone in the universe, and secondly, that we're very inferior in some sort of way.
Just begin to try and imagine how many planetary systems we're talking about in a single galaxy. It's phenomenal. The moment you begin to contemplate the vastness of the cosmos, instantly, any person with any logic at all, any rationality at all, will tell you straight away, there is no possible way we could be alone in all of that.
Author of over 17 books, UFO expert and hypnotherapist Dolores Cannon supports George's theories on extraterrestrial life.
I've worked with ETs and UFOs for 25 years. I've written 4 books on it, so I can answer any question anybody could ever want to know about UFOs and ETs. You've all been ETs. All they are is another being, just like you, going about their own business in their own life on their own planet.
Throughout history, we have been in contact with extraterrestrial races. It's everywhere, it's all around us. But why are people brainwashed and their awareness shrunk down to the size of a pea to think that we're the only ones?
I've been taken to the moon, I've been taken to Mars, I've been in ships to other worlds in other star systems, other parts of the galaxy. I've travelled my consciousness back through time to before this galaxy was created.
George's abductions have been wide and varied and have affected him physically, emotionally, mentally, and especially spiritually.
Some of those experiences for him have been fairly profound in helping him to remember what our journey here is all about. Some of those experiences have been pretty traumatic and taken him days or weeks to recover from physically in his physical body.
When I've travelled from this reality and I've gone to other realities and spaceships and other planetary systems, everything vibrates different. You just go into a ship and you're in there with ETs in their reality. That craft itself has its own vibrational pattern. My atoms spin differently, my molecules vibrate differently. And when I get put back, sometimes it took days to recover. I'd be in agony for days.
Could it be possible that we have been visited by extraterrestrials for hundreds of years and most of us are unaware of it? George and Cynthia hit the road in search of the oldest living human beings on the planet, the Australian Aboriginals. They visited the Adnya Mathanha tribe at Eagawata, which is located in the South Australian Flinders Ranges. This area also happens to be the largest intersection of ley lines in the country.
The Earth is enclosed with a grid work, and it's like a grid. And where those grid works cross, those are your ley lines. And some of the places where they cross, there are vortexes. Those are power points. The ancients knew this. They could tell where these vortexes were. Stonehenge sits at one, the Great Pyramid is at one, the oracles at Delphi are at one, Machu Picchu, all these places sit on the vortex.
Local elder Terence Coulthard took George and Cynthia to ancient rock paintings dating back 35,000 years. There Terence revealed his people's beliefs on the origins of man and their connection to the universe.
This here is the origin of man, the Flinders Camp Ranges area. This is where life as we know it today began here. And there's been dinosaur bones sort of found with a spear head penetrated
lodged into the bones.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up a whole new way of thinking.
Of like the evolution. When people actually say that, the evolution of man was, we evolved hundreds of thousands of years ago, whatever it may be, or thousands of years, it's much longer than that, Us Aboriginal people have been around a lot longer.
So it's become obviously clear when you look at the chromosome setup of the Australian Aborigines is uniquely different to every other human race on the planet. Every single other humanoid form on the planet has taken its genetic roots from the Australian Aborigines. That our ancestors have come from the stars. Multitudes of races came from out there, came to this planet, and because they wanted to implant their peoples here onto this earth, they needed to blend their genetics, their cosmic genetics, with an earthly humanoid form.
Yes, I do believe in the same thing as you, that there was injection of other humanoids coming in here, and then but using the base of our
genetics,
to be able to.
Your humanoid form was the foundation, the root race. I call it the root race.
The Aborigines of Australia have a very strong connection to the energies of the planet, as do many other cultures around the world. They have lived in harmony with the earth for thousands of years, but George believes the connection goes deeper than most people realise.
It is the Aboriginal in every single one of our races that is the anchor, the physical genetic anchor, which also holds the energetic template, which anchors us to our Earth Mother.
Certain genetics are actually allowing you to be able to experience those senses, and that's coming from the Aboriginal race that's in your body.
Yeah, wow.
All right?
Amazing.
Because we are sensitive people. Sometimes we get criticised for it, but who cares?
Mother Earth, Gaia, Sophia, Pachamama, Terra, Mother Nature are all names that human beings all over the world refer to as our planet. The Aborigines love and respect the Earth as she was their real mother and believe that the Earth is a living being.
All the races all around the world call her Mother Earth. Simply because all these peoples know that she's a woman.
I call her Earth Mother because I sense that the spirit of the planet is a woman. So can I ask you, why do you call her your Earth Mother?
It provides for us all what we need for survival.
Yeah.
You know, it cares for us, it nurtures us.
And so our relationship with her is so deep. Like right now, I just breathed in the air, which is going into my body and keeping me alive.
This land is also our supermarket, you know. It provides us with all the foods that we need to survive on. It's our chemist, you know, provides us with all our medicinal needs and stuff.
So humanity in its natural form, our human form, was made for this earth. So if it was made for this earth, then every aspect of our requirements will be catered for, because we match the environment. Like when you start contemplating, you know, butterflies, frogs, horses, dogs, trees, everything that exists on this planet is in our DNA, is in our genetic codes. Everything that exists in this universe is in our genetics.
The Earth is a living entity because everything is alive, everything has consciousness, everything, even though you don't think it is. So Mother Earth is a living being, and she's been existing forever, and she has allowed human beings to live on her. They have a contract together.
Every planet has its own consciousness, it's its own individual being. Every star is its own consciousness, its own individual being. Every tree, every rock, everything in life is its own consciousness. Sure, there's a collective underlying group consciousnesses and what have you, but all those stars and planets out there, they're all individual beings.
If the Earth is a living, intelligent being, and peoples throughout the ages have known this, how do you prove it? George and Cynthia travelled to the UK as part of their global tour and visited Avebury and Stonehenge, where stone circles have been revered for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
You've got these incredible stone circles, ancient stone circles, and the ability to actually know them as a living being, to acknowledge them as a living being.
George met with Maria Wheatley, professional dowser at the Avebury School of Esoteric Studies, who has proof that rocks have consciousness.
But I think this is what the ancients were doing. In their ancient technology, they realized the earth has a force and a consciousness. And that force and consciousness is being brought up in the stone. And using very sensitive electromagnetic recording equipment, we were very successful in recording the sound and the frequency of these energy lines.
Before you showed me that photo, I was attracted to put my hand here. It's like that's pretty much the distance of the second band there. And
because if we come up the face of the stone, we will get the top of that band there, very strong reaction, and you can move it time and time again, and you'll get that band there. So if we now move up the face of the stone, we're getting that band there.
And this is where I had to put my hand. Each of these stones are their own personality, their own being, and they communicate in a specific way. And it's wonderful to see that you can actually measure it. People need to have a greater awareness and understand that there's so much going on around us in our natural environment, and these stone monuments are part of that natural environment. There's so much synthetic overlay at the moment with our current version of what we call cities, the current version of technologies in our transport systems and everything are really quite inorganic. They're really quite detrimental to the well-being of this planet. Yet we have energy that's available to us that is totally free, limitless, and all of that is being withheld. It's all being held back.
Stone circles throughout the UK are located on the intersecting points of the Earth's ley lines. One of Australia's leading psychics, Heidi Hanley, confirms the existence of the Earth's energy grid and the importance of ancient stone circles.
It's like a road or a map or a network of where energy travels, just like the veins or in your body or the meridians within your body. So too, the ley lines to me look as if they are the veins of the Earth Mother. They are the meridians of the Earth Mother. And when you have intersecting ley lines, they are particular spaces of power. They're places that we are able to access, once again, I feel, higher aspects of ourself.
George feels he has a strong connection with the Earth and is sensitive to her energies. He often connects with the planet, trees, and even the rocks.
This circle throughout the ages was helping people to, I'm just sharing with you what I'm getting here now.
Yeah, sure.
And it was helping, I'm getting quite emotional saying it, was helping people to reconnect with that higher aspect of self. Because when you come into this reality, because of its construct, its very nature, it's designed to strip us of everything and come here and have the experiences we have with a very limited level of awareness and consciousness. And so for people to periodically have that reconnection with higher aspects of self, it was relieving, and it was also a sense of counsel and guidance.
Well, what a statement to leave behind for us today, isn't it? Their work and...
the relevance, the importance of these stone circles are phenomenal, so much greater than people realise. So much.
Absolutely.
It's not just ancient cultures that have built monuments on these energetic vortices. In modern times in northern Italy, a spiritual community called Damanhur have constructed their man-made temple inside a mountain. This mountain is located on an intersection of ley lines or syncrotic lines. The temple is considered by some as the 8th wonder of the world.
We have this concept of the energy lines, or the point of the back of the dragon. And many times the symbology about the dragons or the big snakes are really connected to the idea that the planet is surrounded from many different energy lines, not just one kind, but many different. The most important, let's say the highways of the energy lines, is what we call the synchronic lines. This is how we call them. The idea was to create Damanhur exactly where there was the most important energy place. And the most important energy place are where these lines are crossing together, touching together. In that point, well, it's just to imagine a bubble of energy or a sphere of energy that is really, really powerful. One of the source, as they was calling in the past.
Another interesting and yet to be explained phenomena occurs in these energy sites all over the United Kingdom and the world. They are the mysterious crop circles. George and Cynthia spoke to local experts to discuss the possible connection.
There is a connection again, not just with the kind of energies with crop circles and ancient sites. The crop circles are attracted to the ancient sites, and wherever you get an ancient site, you tend to get a lot of crop circles, don't you? And they all seem to go onto the energy lines as well, or the earth energy currents.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd ever be standing in a crop circle, and we met a couple of great guys. One of them, Busty, has been at it for decades. I mean, we're talking about one of the pioneers of crop circle research.
In 1985, Busty Taylor made the possible connection between the dimensions of crop circles and stone circles, including Stonehenge.
I've actually got a video of myself standing beside the road at Stonehenge, right, telling the story that I found a crop circle which to me is the same size as Stonehenge, and did they find a particular thing here in long grass or in crop, and did they build a shrine called Stonehenge on the top of it?
George and Cynthia also met Gary King, a crop circle expert who witnessed the second largest crop circle design ever to be created, appearing before his eyes in seconds.
Oh God, during the past 16 years I've probably been, 600 or 700 formations. I've been in so many crop circles, and so many of them are different and varied and amazing. It's like trying to choose between your children which one you love the most, really. But 777, was such a personal experience. I was there with two others, and a crop circle appeared in front of us. It's the second biggest crop circle ever to have come down. Kind of like was confirmation for me in the 10 years that I'd been involved in it at that time, that I was on the right track, and that I was, it was okay doing what I was doing.
This is where some people have sat here, because it's the central part. Everybody seems to kind of radiate to the centre to sit down and meditate or whatever. Some people have walked in channels there, look.
I mean, here we have these most sophisticated, intricate designs. Sacred geometry that has so much information in it, of the highest order of wisdom and intellect.
It's a language. The subconscious mind understands symbols. Doesn't go word for word. ETs work with symbols. So the crop circles, the symbol is conveying information to the mind.
Many of the intricate designs have been decoded with incredible messages symbolizing cryptic mathematical equations like the ratio of pi, and even planetary alignments signifying dates in the near future.
When you're in there, the amount of overlay, it's like plaiting that takes place, weaving, the amount of how the stems are not even broken, how the crop continues to grow and produces incredible yield in some cases.
This was the center of the circle. A complete like steam bend that you achieve with wood when you make walking sticks, steam bend. Like, it's not broken, you can inspect that. That's near the center of the circle.
And so the scientists that examined the wheat in the 7-7 formation, W.C. Levengood in Michigan, found that it had been plasma from high up in the atmosphere that had somehow been caused to descend down into the inside of the plants, causes them to lay over, but not all at once, because some plants lay before others, because sometimes you get 8 layers, right? So it's like an orchestration of a musical symphony, and it does it in 3 milliseconds per plant, and it's gone.
I know all the crop circle investigators, and the one that flies over in her plane and she takes the pictures, they were able for the first time to see one being made, and it was done with energy.
It's such an incredible phenomenon and nobody's talking about it anymore. Very, very few. It should have been all over the front pages, it should be all over the news, it should be documentaries made on this. Yes, there's been some, but it just keeps getting dismissed. It keeps getting, it's like someone throws a wet blanket over things and just gets dampened down systematically.
I think that the media, A, doesn't like to deal with things where there are unanswered questions. So they'd rather just say, here's the crop circles, we found out it's guys with boards, you can go back to the football. Or there's this big conspiracy which has been going on for a long time to keep humanity from its origins, of relationships to maybe being some other planets, relationships to consciousness which inherits this earth with us or inhabits this earth with us.
There's not people going out there and doing it. Because if you remember the pictures of the Juliet set, the huge one right across from Stonehenge, just across the highway from Stonehenge. And here's Stonehenge, real little like that, and this thing took up the whole field on the other side, composed of 700 circles in a beautiful, wonderful design. She flew over that, there was nothing there. She flew back 5 minutes later, the whole thing was there. I've been in the ones that are fake. The ones that are real are beautiful, and the energy, you feel the energy. Some people can't take it, and it makes them sick.
Did you yourself ever have any personal experiences in these circles? Did you ever feel a tingle or feel an energy?
Yes, I have. I've got to be truthful, George. I've had that type of feeling, and also I've had sometimes the power has been so great that I've had headaches, and I've had to go home. That took me by surprise.
Just rub your hands together. Okay, just hold your hands out like this. If you film into our hands, can you see that your hands are kind of full of blood? They're red, yeah? So what we do now is lower down towards the ground, okay? Slowly like this, and watch white dots start to appear on your fingers.
Yeah, I'm feeling that.
Feel it?
Yeah.
It's like magnetism. Yeah, it's all going white blotchy, look.
Yeah.
Look.
My hands are buzzing.
Yeah. They kind of, look at the blood flow start to come back. There it goes. So there's something radiating from these plants which affects our microcirculation.
Yeah.
And it feels like doing Qigong.
Yeah.
It feels like the magnetism, that kind of air that's viscous.
Really good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was an incredible phenomenon, and the energy was coming right up to our hips. It was very, very powerful. I've got a tingling coming up through my legs.
You will.
Wow. So you feel like there's a link between all of these? They're all linked.
I think they are linked, but there's just a missing link. Nobody's thought of why.
So it's very obvious why the crop circles are appearing around the sacred sites, because of the energy. And also this is the way the ETs come and go. That's why there's a portal there, because they use these vortex points to travel to other dimensions and other times.
We now know that stone circles and crop circles are located on the Earth's energy points and ley lines, but around the world, churches are also strategically placed at these locations. Is this a coincidence?
So we have these incredible energetic lines running all around on the planetary body, and we need more clarity on that, more understanding on that, because the moment you do, you realise that there's been an agenda to actually manipulate the energetic lines of the planet by building these certain monuments on these specific points, intersecting points.
This cross point that was always used in the ancient civilization to build temples, sacred sites, important cities, cathedral, church. Well, it was one of the systems to use sacred geometry, use the architecture to do what? Well, to modify the energy coming from these lines and then to use it for probably different kind of purpose.
Those energetic lines facilitate a vibrational pattern which holds the space for life to be manifest inside of. So everything that's manifested inside of this energetic template is affected by this energetic template. And if you have things like churches and temples and monuments and obelisks and what have you placed in strategic points around the planet in these intersecting places, then it becomes a lot easier to influence and steer and guide that energetic template into an energetic pattern that whoever's doing the steering and the guiding and the influencing it, what they want it to be, where they want it to go, and therefore steering humanity and our environment into a particular direction as well.
There was a lot of secrecy that was used to take the power away from people. And so that power was then contained within certain groups in our society. And who I'm speaking of is religions. I believe that it is a control structure that has been created to disempower people. I feel that certainly all human beings and myself are divine. And so it is illogical to me. It doesn't make sense. Why would I then bow down before something else?
If you've got millions of people worshipping every week, getting down on their knees, the question to ask now is,
who made religion?
Seriously.
Who's running religion? And who benefits from religion?
I'm giving you the truth, the hidden truth. This is underneath the Vatican here. They are frightened of people knowing this piece of information.
That whole institution is run by an energy that only seeks to suppress human spirit, that only seeks to demise and diminish the sovereignty of one's essence, of one's spirit and one's existence. It only wants to feed off the energy of a being's essence. That is reality.
So how is this so? How is this energy controlling our planet?
If you want to control a planetary population, what you must do, first of all, is control the energetic patterns and the essence of the consciousness of that planet. So if you want to control humanity here, control the feminine. You control the feminine, you control humanity. You suppress the feminine, you suppress humanity. Now you understand why the women of Islam wear the veil. Because the feminine is hidden behind the veil. I've seen through the veil.
So we look at, for example, churches being placed on intersecting ley lines. One that stands out for me is certainly Glastonbury Tor, which in the United Kingdom, which certainly is originally a very feminine energy and a very powerful place for the feminine energy of this planet. And it has a very large phallic type Christian monument placed upon it. Now that was purposeful. that was intended to deplete and to cover over the access to that feminine power point in that place.
George and Cynthia visited Glastonbury. Their sensitivity to the Earth's energies revealed some shocking secrets about this once sacred land.
Here there's a very powerful overlay over the land, and there's a twisted energy here. I think the energies that once were are no longer here. We're just feeling an emptiness out of all the places that we've been and seen.
Yesterday when we walked into the Abbey, right from the front entrance, when we walked in, I was quite hesitant to walk in there. I really wanted to see it. I was really looking forward to seeing the architecture and just experience the place. But once I got in through the main entrance, I felt this darkness and this sadness, and I thought, it just took me over, it overwhelmed me.
What I sense here is how Imperial Rome decimated not only the human spirit, but the connection of humanity to the natural order of things. There's a lot of pain here. There's a lot of deceit. There's a lot of
deception, a lot of deceit and a lot of sadness.
Such a clever campaign to turn people, to create this internal divide, to cut them off from the natural construct of life here. This is what's going on. It's insidious. It's a reverse psychological, it's a campaign of reverse psychology. It's very, very clever.
I have to get out of this.
And I mean, we've seen it throughout the world, haven't we?
Yeah.
How the missionaries did it to the American Indians, how they did it to the Australian Aborigines, how they've done it to so many cultures around the world. It's really sad.
But they're still doing it.
Not for much longer. They really criticise paganists, don't they? They go, oh, that's pagan. Brrr. Okay, then please explain to me what Easter is. How's Easter derived? Easter is derived by the first Sunday after the first full moon after the equinox. Hello? If that's not pagan, I don't know what is. What's Christmas? It's not the birth of the Christ. It's got to do with the winter solstice. Mithra, the sun god, was also born on the 25th of December.
The ley lines are one of the many ways the global cabal are controlling the planet and the feminine energy. George believes another device they use is in plain sight. We see it every night in our skies, the moon.
Okay, they're pretty good at manipulating energy, but not on this scale. They needed something that was going to do it. They needed a mechanical device, and the moon is it. And the moon pulls and contorts the oceans, which is pulling and contorting the emotional body of the feminine. And us men have no idea what women go through. That's reality.
In the original Aramaic or Hebrew Bible, scholars deciphered the following message that refers to the time before the moon.
Thou wast feared since the time of the sun and before the time of the moon, a generation of generations. Did you hear what I just said? Before the time of the moon. That's big. In the Bible, it talks about a time before the moon.
George visited friend Lisa Harrison, who hosts a popular spiritual website in Sydney, to further discuss his theories behind the moon.
Hey, how's it going, mate? What I find fascinating about the moon is how you've got this one face, and it just faces as it spins around the Earth at exactly all the way around. So it's actually spinning, but it's spinning so exact that we only ever see exactly one side of the moon.
And the only thing in,
Right.
at least in our galaxy, that does that.
Yeah, it's just not. That is so an unnatural anomaly. And the other one is, it's the way it's like, you know, when you look at an eclipse, how it's so perfect to the size of the sun. If it was just a few kilometres more closer to us, we wouldn't see the sun at all. If it was a few kilometres further out, we'd see a thicker border of the sun around it. I mean, it's just so perfect.
Since George came out with his information on the moon, you've also got David Icke. Ingo Swann came out with his book. There's multiple people who will talk about, including NASA and other whistleblowers, who will talk about their experiences with the moon, about how it rings like a bell. There's so many people now who will come out in support of the whole idea that the moon is not a natural satellite, and for a number of reasons. You know, it's supposed to be made up of different stuff to anything else in our solar system. It's supposed to be millions of years older than anything in our solar system. For those who believe that the moon is the remnant of a planet that was broken up, that made up most of the asteroid belt, and somehow that broke away, or that it was as a result of an impact on Earth, the composition between the moon and the Earth is completely different.
Here you have a heavenly body, and you have something else. If it gets caught in a gravitational field, its orbit becomes elliptical. Our moon is circular. Totally unnatural. Well, I've just given you 3 big clues, let alone the biblical one. 4 massive clues. Millions of people around the world sit there staring at an eclipse. How of them go, shit, that's good. Like, really, that is so perfect. How did that happen? Whoever just questions that, we just sit there and go, wow, in wonder, and don't take it any further. Like, are we asleep or what? How about the fact that it's plugged into the reproductive cycles of the feminine?
Is it because the planet herself is female,
Yeah.
and that in order to suppress her,
Yep.
the feminine energy across the board has to be suppressed? So we get caught up in that, the feminine aspect of men get caught up in that.
It's and it's a symbiotic thing. What they needed to do was control the divine feminine, and then that way they can control the women of the planet, and that way, because women are the ones who give birth and create life, then they can control the course and the destiny of that race.
But is the priority control the planet herself, the being that is the planet, and then we're secondary to that? Or
it's symbiotic. You can't do one without the other.
No.
You'll fail. Okay?
Yeah.
Because it's been tried before. It's a big universe, eons of history.
Can't we just, talk about the weather? Can we just have a cat that's not,
I know. This is you and I having a cup of tea. having a chat over a cup of tea.
The Golden Age, the Shift, Judgment Day, the Apocalypse are all words to describe the end of time and a new beginning. Many spiritual movements and cultures, from the New Age to the Mayan and Hopi Indians, predict that we are all in a period of time when the planet is to enter a new cycle of life and a new level of consciousness. And we are feeling this shift physically on the planet today.
My understanding is that Mother Earth is about to give birth to a new race of life that has never existed in the universe before. A new way of life. That's my understanding. And it's not just an understanding, it's actually a knowing.
Every Indigenous culture, religion, philosophy, throughout history, has a myth or a belief or a legend or a story about the end of this age and what happens next.
What the Mayan calendar is explaining is all these circles, from the universal one down to the planetary one and down to smaller cycles, levels of consciousness within the human journey, and in recent times the precession of the equinoxes, they all converge at one point. And when they all converge and hit 0 point is at the end of this precession of the equinoxes, so that the cycle does not end on the 21st of December 2012, because that's not an equinox, it's a solstice. And a lot of people seem to forget that point. It's actually the precession of the equinoxes, and it finishes on an equinox.
George, Cynthia, the Mayans, and even today's astronomers all believe we are in the final stages of a universal cycle. Many crop circle formations demonstrate this point of time as well.
That point, which we could call 0 point, is the moment in the journey, or space-time, or whatever you want to call it, that the intended outcome was going to be achieved.
So I guess to me, it represents this planet remembering, awakening and correcting her course. And it was always going to happen. You know, this is an experiment has an end. You have to have a result.
You know, when you have a sense of a storm coming, the clouds go dark, and there's that sense of static electricity in the air, and you just know that something's coming. I think anyone who is sensitive will sense now that there is something happening on the planet. There's something big coming.
I see hearts crying out for the truth, getting beyond this mental situation that's happening on the planet at the moment, this mental programming. And we know that something's going on here. Even people that I speak to, I had this wonderful conversation with a gentleman on the Central Coast, because we went and visited the Egyptian hieroglyphs there on the Central Coast. And he's very connected to nature. And he said to me, he can feel it in nature all around him, that things are changing, even in the natural kingdom.
Yeah, a few people have criticised me for being a bit of an end timer, that I believe, I could feel a really strong shift coming into this year. Being a bush survival expert, I don't like the term expert, I'm someone that loves it and is really passionate about it. But I've always had this gut feeling my whole life that we're going to need these survival skills.
Through the evolution of Mother Earth, her consciousness, obviously her body is shifting. I've been shown that the axis, the poles are shifting as well. Obviously, when we look at all of the different disasters that are going on the planet, and once again, as a human being, I relate to that as almost a woman going through labour.
All these natural disasters that are happening throughout the world are basically just wake-up calls. Wake up, smell the coffee. Mother Earth is not happy with the way that we're treating her. We're just raping her. We're taking from her and not giving something back. We know, just like a human mother, we have to take nutrients from our human mother for us to grow and survive. We also need to take nutrients from Mother Earth for us to survive. But how we go about doing it and what quantities of it we take is the big question,
We are part of the Earth Mother. We're not separate. We have a symbiotic, intimate relationship with her. So what happens to her happens to us. And it's really interesting that there's such an increase in mental illness and depression and cancers, and it's a way of our human bodies reflecting what's physically going on the planet. And it's really also very interesting that a lot of people have the same dreams. I cannot tell you how many tsunami dreams I've had, or how many earthquake dreams or volcano dreams I've had. And it's the way that the Earth Mother is communicating to us, this is what needs to shift, this is what needs to change. From an energetic perspective, it's like she's shaking off the dross, or she's shaking off the negativity that she can no longer sustain.
What Mother Earth is experiencing at the moment with the shifting of the tectonic plates and the straightening up on her axis, because Mother Earth is feminine and we're feminine, what is happening with her, we are experiencing in our bodies as well.
Earthquakes on the planet are increasing in numbers dramatically, and the statistics recorded are everywhere to see.
I know that the Japanese earthquake, the Earth straightened up on her axis 30 centimetres, and did so with the Chilean earthquake as well. For me, the earthquakes are a result of her straightening up. So my take on what's coming is quite profound. It's really out there. It's probably more out there than most have ever explained. And like you actually can feel there's a shift happening in the natural kingdom. Because I say to people, you've got to realise the natural kingdom is sorting out who's going to go through and who's not. who's going to make it through the shift and who's not. The shift that's coming for me is so profound that the frequency, the base frequency of life here on everything we see around us is going to raise its vibration. And on the New Age sort of circles, it's called Ascension.
What does ascension mean? What's this ascension thing everybody talks about? Well, let's look at the word ascension. It means to ascend, state of ascending. So what we're doing is we're taking a vibrational reality and we're raising the frequency. That's all that's happening here. And on a mechanical level, what does that mean? Well, it means that atoms will spin faster. It means the molecules will vibrate faster, because that's what determines dimensional realities, by the way, for those who don't understand that.
She's moving into the other dimension. She is changing her vibration and frequency to match it. And it's the first time ever in the history of a universe that an entire planet is going to shift into another dimension. So if we want to go with her, like I said, she doesn't care if we go or not, because we've been damaging her. But if we want to go with her, we have to change our vibration and frequency to match it. And that's what's happening right now. And the ones who can change the vibration are the ones that will go.
The planet's frequency is rising. We've been bombarded with energy that we've never come across before from the galactic core. That's raising the frequency. We've got the sun doing stuff that is raising the frequency. So if you don't ride this wave, if you can't get on the crest, you're just going to make life very, very difficult for yourself.
Oh, this ascension that you speak about, do you think it might be a bit of a metaphysical kick in the backside to a lot of people?
Yeah, I think it will do that. I think it's going to be a kick in the backside for a lot of people on many levels, on all levels of life. What Mother Earth has shared with me, and I could be wrong, right? But I don't feel I am because of the heart connection I have with her. And when you communicate with Mother Earth, then she expresses to you that I'm shifting, I'm changing. I need to transcend and become a being in a high frequency of life.
George and Cynthia believe that by rekindling our relationship and connection with Mother Earth, we will continue our journey with her into a higher state of being. But to do that, we need to change the way we live in many ways.
The process of change here is bigger than what I want. I want to renovate my house. Great, that's wonderful. Doesn't mean the universe has got to stop its evolutionary process just because George wants to renovate his house. I mean, gosh. But that's what these people are doing. That's what these people are literally doing. I don't want things to change. What about my job? What about my career? I'm saving up for the new model car. What? But they got to realise that their little egos, well, it's the little egos they've got to realise that there's so much more to this reality. Mine had to. I'm not different than anybody else. I'm not coming from an elitist point of view. I'm just coming from someone who's lived it and continues to live it. I'm continuing to come to terms with change. That's the word, isn't it? Change. 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 We all have to change.
I think the world is changing whether we like it or not. The energy is changing. So we have a choice to ride the wave or not. And I think riding the wave is as simple as living from your heart.
When we talk about change, well, when everything is going well, who wants to change? Probably no one. Crises are finally that invitation that's encouraged to finally change because things are not going pretty well. So we cannot continue to destroy life and diversity. We cannot continue to don't respect the earth, the nature, the environment. So this is one of, for me, of the most important topic and crucial topic of this time because we are constantly destroying things. We are destroying the nature. We are destroying also ourselves. We are destroying the diversity. So if in the Mother Earth we have this idea of a mother that is embracing everything and everyone, so we have to protect this mother. We have to protect these symbols because it seems that the humankind has really forgets that we are the reflection of what we have outside. So I'm inside what I'm reflecting outside. So if I'm destroying something outside, I'm destroying also something inside of myself.
Mother Earth has sent the message out there.
I'm changing, she's saying, isn't she?
Yes, and some of you need to prepare yourself for the change. But in doing that, we have to think the big picture stuff.
In the wilderness, in the world of nature, it's not so much survival of the fittest, it's more survival of the most cooperative, and we really need to work synergistically with Mother Earth, or else we're not going to survive.
Yeah, it's about existing in harmony with her. And understanding the cycles and the patterns of nature. It's like when we adjust as people, you adjust to people around you, you feel their behaviour and you feel the way they behave and the way they function as a person, then we make accommodations and adjustments according to those people so we can get on with those people, don't we? What people don't realise, they've forgotten that we need to do the same thing with nature. She behaves in a certain way, and what we've got to do is learn to behave how she behaves. If we were to become more aware of the energetic ley lines, then if we were to then put our more noble intentions, more heart-centered intentions into these lines, then the whole environment here could change quite quickly for the better.
I want to draw your attention to this tree here, all right? This tree is symbolic of us as a family. See how it all branches off?
Yeah.
And then we branch off like having different religious beliefs, different cultural beliefs, different languages, different traditions, different ways of life, different ideas, different ideals and whatever. But at the end of the day, all those branches are linked, right? They all come together, they're linked, and what's happening is all these branches are being nurtured by Mother Earth.
So all these different expressions all come back to the same point of origin.
Same point of origin, and it's been nurtured by Mother Earth. And for us to be able to save this planet and take care of Mother Earth, we have to think much broader as a whole family, holistically.
Terence initiated George and Cynthia in an Aboriginal ochre ceremony, which uses the natural minerals of the land to reconnect to Mother Earth. Each colour represents the spirit, the blood, the sun, and the air of the earth.
When you're growing in the womb of your mother, the blood has been transferred from her body into your body to make you grow. Then when you're actually born, they separate you from the mother by cutting the cord. I'm now going to tie up the cord, reconnect you with Mother Earth. So by placing this colour on you, you'll be connected with Mother Earth so that she can give you the spiritual guidance between her and you can flow. And you can look at things in a different light, okay, through this connection.
This sacred Aboriginal tradition of connecting to the earth is still used today, but you don't have to be initiated in ochre to make the connection to our Mother Earth. We are all genetically made up of the same minerals that make up the earth, so all that we need to re-establish our connection to her is already inside us. But how do we move forward and begin to make the change for the better?
The best way I think people can move forward is just to go into their heart in whatever way they need to and connect with yourself. When we reconnect with our true essence of who we are at our core, and we are the most authentic self that we can possibly be, and we tap into the energy of Mother Earth. It's a symbiotic relationship. We do it together. The more authentic we become, the more creative we become as we connect with that true essence of who we are, and the more that empowers Mother Earth as well. It's the flow of the energy, and I think that she wants us. She facilitated these lives that we're having so that we can be our authentic selves.
Change your focus to being of service to rather than what's in it for me. I think if you deal with everybody in your life with compassion and respect, if you take up a practice, whatever it is, whether it's meditation or sun gazing or gardening, whatever it is that allows you to just find that place of stillness where you can ask questions, you'll get answers.
Live in your heart. Live in your heart center. Be true to yourself in every moment that you're breathing. You know, do what you love. Be with the people that you love. And I don't mean in a blissed out, artificial, ecstatic state. I mean truly present in your physical body. We're not meant to be floating around out there. That's why we're here. That's why we have a physical body. We're here to experience physicality. And all of the beautiful things that entails, you know, beautiful food, beautiful relationships, beautiful sex, beautiful children, you know, walking and standing in the rain, or, you know, walking through a forest, smelling the ocean. These are the things that I would love people to reconnect with, because we've just been disconnected. We've been disconnected from our true essence as physical human beings. You know, and we've been disconnected from our Earth Mother. We sit in our rooms with the televisions on, you know, on computers, and, you know, through this digital age, it's, in a sense, I mean, you could perceive it as another form of control. You know, it's, once again, separation, you know, taking us away from who we truly are.
Be grateful to who you are and for what you are. Be grateful for where you are at this particular time in your life. Be grateful for the lessons that the people around you are teaching you. And just be happy, because there is a much bigger purpose to you being here. You are very important, even though you may not feel like it where you're at in your life at the moment. Everyone is important, everyone is magnificent, and we all are on this journey together. Even though we're having individual journeys, we're all role-playing for each other. So just be happy and grateful for where you're at this time.
As long as we're there for each other, we'll make it. You know, there's no one has to get left behind. No man left behind. We don't have to. Everybody can go for this ride. And I think that's one of the things I'm seeing people starting to realise, is that there isn't anything to fear. They don't have to fear their neighbour because they're a different colour or a different race. They don't have to fear a different nation. They don't have to fear the wealthy. They don't have to fear the poor. They don't, all the things that we're told to fear, because everybody wants a piece of you. It's a lie. I mean, you only have to see a community in crisis. We've seen it here in Australia with the floods in Queensland. You know, New Orleans saw it, Sri Lanka saw it. You know, we've all seen communities in crisis and what people do and how people respond. We saw people, you know, risking their lives to save a stranger's fridge. You know, their pet. People do amazing things for each other. And that's what we're capable of. That's human nature.
You are sovereign. You are sovereign. You've got to know what that means. I'm a sovereign being of life. You have a right to everything in life. Shine your magnificence. You're so powerful. Oh, they don't want you to know this. They don't want you to know how powerful you are. They want to continue to do this to you. They want to continue to feed off your energy. Don't feed them anymore. Please. Be the sovereign beings that you are.
Feel who you really are, and then desire to be who you really are. But to do that, then you have to do another important spiritual thing. Act. Action. Doing things, not just imagine things, but really meditate with your leg crossed, but also meditate with your hands. Make it possible, make it happen.
We're showing people a door out of misery, a door out of entrapment, a door out of being a slave. And it's a doorway to freedom, the freedom of spirit, the freedom of life, and the freedom to live a more harmonious and a better way. But you know, we can't force them through that door. We're only showing them the door. And there's only one thing that's going to open that door, and it's a key. And there's only one place that they can get that key from. And that key is their heart. That is the magic key. The only thing that's going to open that door is the person's heart, and only that person's heart can only open that person's door. No one else's heart can open another person's door. There'll be people who won't want to walk through the door and won't want to live freely, live a sovereign life, free in spirit, free in mind, free in heart, and free in body.
We're on the same page, bloke.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are, aren't we? Yeah.
Just a different way to express.
Just trying to remember how magnificent and how powerful we are, that we are truly eternal, that we are truly infinite, and that we are so integrated, and the amount of love it takes to integrate on all these levels, so beyond words. There is no words that come close to explaining and expressing really what we are discussing here. Just feel into it, remember it, remember the feeling, remember those states of being, of integration, of love, of oneness and harmony. Yeah, it's like, I say it's like we've got our rivers of life. I've walked a different path to the one you have. My river is coming from a different direction, but they're going to meet at the same point. We're all heading for the sacred waters. Do you know what I'm saying? The sacred watering hole.
That root of that tree I showed you is sucking on the same nutrients. You know, like all the roots, they go off, but they're sucking off the nutrient down there for it to provide all the goodness, for it to flourish. And we're sucking off the same source. Because we're one family.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
It's good to have you on, bloke.
It's good to be back home. Yeah. It's real good. Yeah.
So go now, run.